Welcome to the Get in the Mukbang.
Aren't they called mukbangs?
I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce them.
We used to do them in college. Like we go to like Taco Bell, like try new menu items.
The
It was
one
like,
dude from Wild and Out. What is his name?
oh
There's one of the comedians from Wild and Out, the Nick Cannon show.
yeah.
He would get sponsored by like fast food restaurants to do it on his YouTube channel.
You know what? Honestly, I want to do it. Like, I know we had the idea of like starting like a underground sports cheesesteaks,
It's still
which
there.
actually, well, I found out today that about a block from my work, there is a Pardon My Cheesesteaks.
Yeah, stupid. Well, our concept is different from that.
Well, no, I know, but like, if you're gonna try and do cheesesteak reviews, like, I will go and buy one tomorrow and literally do a review at work.
Yeah, that's the Barstool
Yes,
cheesesteak thing.
that's why I'm mentioning it. I thought it was a meme, like PLL beans.
Yeah, I looked their website up, and honestly, I sent it to Dom, and we were both like disgusted by what those cheesesteaks are.
Like they actually look terrible in in the ad promo. But all right, hold on. So this place, it's called like Kitchen United Mix,
Hmm.
and so it's in Midtown Manhattan, by where I work. They have locations in largely California, like one in Dallas. It's kind of spread out, but they opened one up last year in Manhattan on 38th and 8th. Listen to the storefronts that are in this place. Apparently, it's like one kiosk, right? And behind it, I guess it's just like a kitchen of like all different companies. So in this one thing, you literally walk in and it's like a shoebox it's Manhattan. They have a Jersey Mike's, a Wingstop, a Burger Village, Chili's, Cafe Habana. I had Hawaiian Bros Island Grill. It was fucking bomb.
Sounds
They
familiar.
got a wing place. They have Buddy Velastro's cake slices. They have Earl of Sandwich, Guy Fieri's Flavor Town, Mariah Carey's Cookie Company. Didn't know that was a thing. Mr. Beast Burger by, of course, Mr. Beast.
I just
Pardon My
had that in
Cheesecakes
Baltimore.
and Robert Irvine's American Heroes. Wait, what'd you have?
The Mr. Beast burger.
All right, I didn't realize that it was Mr. Beast. Like, is it good?
It wasn't bad. I was like pretty impressed. Like for something that like I had zero expectation for. I was kind of
I gotta
annoyed
try
that
it now.
I was annoyed that I said no mayo and there was mayo on it. And my only other complaint was that it was a little too like oniony. There was too much onion on it because they did like
Just take them
the
off.
well, yeah, I bit into it not knowing that it was like filled with onions because it was like the chopped onions. It wasn't like onion like slices.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought it was like a solid like 7-8. The fries were
Okay.
fantastic. The fries were fantastic from there, and I got it DoorDashed, and they were still crispy as fuck.
I'm like very concerned that like now that I figured out this place is is a block from work, I'm gonna blow so much fucking money. Because I was like you're in Midtown Manhattan, a salad dollars. I can only
Yeah,
imagine what my ass can spend if I got like a 6-inch cheesesteak and like a thing of fries from Mr. Beast Burger, and like at some point I'm probably gonna wind up getting like something from like Guy Fieri's Flavor Town because I never had that ever. So I'm just like I'm struggling. But
buddy.
what cereal are you eating?
I was eating pasta salad.
Oh, it's pasta salad. It looks like cereal.
Yeah, tricolor, tricolor pasta salad.
Oh,
Fantastic stuff.
oh, like tortellini,
Rotini, I think it was.
rotini. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm a very fake Italian. I'm going to a Italian feast
Ooh.
tomorrow in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. If anybody's around, super Italians, let me know. Hit me up.
The
Um,
I've also the places you named in there. Buddy Velastro is the cake boss, right?
yes,
One of my friends went to Seton Hall, and her roommate was his daughter.
that's sick. That's like
She like
actually
texts
sick.
everyone, "My roommate's the cake boss's daughter."
All right. So back in the day, me and my friends used to watch Cake Boss all the time, and we were like, "Yo, our goal once we're like old enough, we're just gonna get drunk in Manhattan and just go to to Carlos Bake Shop.
Mm-hmm.
And so one day we're doing a day drink down in Soho, and my friend's like, "Yo, you want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we get on the subway. I have no idea where we're going. We just wind up in Hoboken. It was epic. It was an epic moment.
That's amazing.
I'm almost positive we met him, but I was too drunk to function. So
That's pretty electric.
a little story there. You know, speaking of food, if you had to guess, like, what the staple like menu item at like St. Andrews would be, would you have any idea?
I'm gonna go safe and say some sort of potato dish.
Oh, what? Just because they're from Scotland?
Yeah,
You're an ass.
you got to do what you know.
I mean, yes, I guess so, but like, I'm actually googling it because I have no idea. Like no one ever talks about the menu outside of like when the PGA Championship had like $18 beer, and obviously like the Masters always has like really good stuff, but they never talk about what's at the Open. And honestly, like I can't see anything about it, which is like kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't talk about food more in sports in general.
Well, like, you know what it is? Like, golf is so it's hard to like get like those like big time food items because it's only for a weekend. Like, yeah, you can probably go pretty big. Like when John and I went to the Northern Trust in Jersey, they had a Shake Shack, which was pretty sick. Like they literally built a Shake Shack. Like that's awesome to have on site. But like when you go to like Tulsa, Oklahoma, what are you possibly gonna eat in Tulsa, Oklahoma? There's a reason why the beer was $20.
Some sort of barbecue.
Probably. I'd be like reluctant to assume that, but yeah, like I see nothing about what the menu is at the Open. I can guarantee you though it's probably far cheaper than anything in America. I'm sure the prices are astoundingly good in the British pound. All right, they use pounds in Scotland, I think, right?
Let me fact check. I'm pretty sure they do.
I want to say they accept pounds in all of the British Isles.
The pound sterling.
Okay.
Which is $1.19 in the US dollar.
Europe is way more bougie than us.
Oh, 100%.
They use sterling. How cool is that?
Yeah, the only sterling that was in the US was a bastard. Racist asshole.
That dick. Could you believe like how people can spend like billions of dollars on sports teams?
No.
Like it's amazing how people have dumb money.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steve Cohen.
Yeah. Condoleezza Rice now.
Well, she's a part of an ownership group, so it's a little different.
Yeah, but she had to buy in.
Yeah. I mean, Magic bought into the Dodgers and like 3 other teams, but he only owns so much. How much does Rice own now?
I don't know, but the thing that Magic gets away with that people don't realize, he owns the parking lots at Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah.
And he's like tapped into like a whole bunch of like Starbucks in Los Angeles and stuff.
I'm pretty like for the most part the money's up. My wife yourself. You there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I have like Radio Shack Wi-Fi today. It's terrible.
He's on the free AT&T store Wi-Fi.
Dude, I'm on like the Optimum Wi-Fi where it's like Optimum Wi-Fi dash like emergency. It's like made for the people who barely actually have any operable Wi-Fi.
You're in the free like mall Wi-Fi. That when you connect to it, it does absolutely nothing.
It's like at the like you're at a store in a strip mall. I'm like, they don't have Wi-Fi, but like the nail salon 3 doors down does.
Yeah,
and it's like it's guest Wi-Fi, but it's actually nothing. It claims to have 3 bars, but it actually has less bars on the dying cat.
And then like, the closer you get to it, it has 1 bar.
The worst is I can't tell you the last time that I've been in a situation where I've had the 1X symbol on my phone.
It's terrible.
That's like peak misery.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of what mine cuts to, because I pretty much have like 5G everywhere.
I have LTE everywhere, but
Yeah, I have LTE and 5G, but I don't think I'd tap down to anything below that anymore.
I'm changing services soon because the one that I have right now is awful and it pays too much money.
What are we switching to?
Hashtag not a sponsor. Mint Mobile, sponsored by.
I was just gonna
Reynolds.
like guess that.
Yeah, it's like dude, it's like $30 a month for unlimited, and you have the same service as AT&T, I think it is.
Yeah.
And
you keep your phone number.
Yeah, and I for Verizon right now it's like $80. Bullshit.
That's crazy.
Like really? Like you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna buy a new phone retail, whatever. Like it's a one-time investment that I get for 3 years, and I use it every fucking day. It pays for itself. It pays for itself, honestly.
You're basically buying a computer at this point. That's what it is.
Yeah. Basically,
it's a handheld computer.
I mean, like, granted though, like the laptop that I have I've had it for 8 years. Like phones don't last 8 years.
Mine is on the way.
Incredible.
I'm still running on an 8+.
I'm running on an XR. It's about 3 years old, but the battery life, the max capacity of battery is like 72%.
Yeah, and you're supposed to get the battery changed when it drops below 80.
Well,
which I've done on this 8+ twice, and it runs like new.
Then I probably should go to the Apple store and change it out.
It's so much cheaper. It's like fucking $60, I think, for them to change it, and it takes like 2-3 hours at most.
Okay, I can handle that.
For an Apple product that's out of warranty, I think it's worth it.
And it's paid off, right? I would assume.
Yeah, mine's paid off in a funny story. I don't know if I ever told you this. So when we were upgrading to these phones, we go to Best Buy, not a sponsor, to upgrade these, and they had a deal: buy one get one free. It was like the ad they were running for the 8+. So we go in, we're doing it, and they were like, "Oh no, like it's when you add another line." And my mom's showing them the circular, showing them the fly. Nowhere does it say buy one get one free when you add another line. It just says buy one get one free. Going through this whole thing, my mom goes up chain of command, gets on a phone call with the president of AT&T. The president of AT&T paid off one of the phones.
I'm dead.
It was mine.
That's amazing.
I was like, let's go. I was like, I'll use this phone until it does not work anymore.
You know, there probably was the fine print that said when you add a line, but it was like 0.2 font, and it blended into the background color.
Yeah, like none of the marketing anywhere that they were advertising at Best Buy said when you add another line. It was so funny.
That's like when my resume comes up with like all of the keywords that a company like looks for, and the reason why is because it's in white ink on my white paper because I use the graphics because I use Canva to make it. So I just found 80 keywords, put them in 0.2 font, and buried it in the resume. If any company is currently like watching this episode, just know that
it's like, guys, you didn't see that I said to use a blacklight when you read my resume.
Anybody who's watching this, you did not hear that. We are diverting heavily on what we should really be discussing. Obviously, this is the Getting the Whole podcast. Was the Getting the Whole Mukbang or Mukbang, whatever the hell you want to start off. But I'm Stephen McAvoy. That's Kyle Bennett. We're here with you on the play the. Well, I gotta get the bagpipes. Where are you? Play them. Magical. St. Andrews, the home of golf. Scotland. The beautiful Tiger Woods. Magic Claret Did you know that Jack Nicklaus is the third American to be an honorary citizen of St. Andrews, with Bobby Jones, obviously big time golfer, and Benjamin Franklin?
Huh.
How elite do you have to be in a group with Benjamin Franklin and one other elite golfer? That's got to be like more elite company than being the president.
That is pretty wild.
And Ben Franklin was named an honorary citizen of St. Andrews in 1759.
17. 17. Name that musical.
Hamilton.
There we go. I was going to be very disappointed if you didn't get that.
The only one that I could have possibly been. Or else it was like Stomp. Like, I have no idea. I'm a musical guy, but the second I think of rap and plays, I automatically think of Stomp and Hamilton. That's it.
I throw Hip Hop Love Supreme in there, but I don't know if it's exactly a play. It's more of a stage show.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't really apply. Like, is the Blue Man Group considered a stage show? Even though like they technically are on Broadway. They perform in Broadway venues.
That's a good question.
Something we'll answer for another day. Well, should I go through my whole spiel here? Probably should.
Yeah, let the people know.
Yeah, let's let them know. Welcome into the Get in the Hole podcast. Stephen McAvoy here with you on a terrific Tuesday. Whenever you're listening to the episode, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's Friday again. That was really bad. Wherever you are listening, however you are listening to us, welcome in to Get in the Hole. You can find us probably where you're streaming right now on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you're getting the podcast. Please follow us. You might be listening to us on YouTube on the video version. Say hi to the viewers, Kyle. You can follow us on YouTube. Subscribe. Find us at Underground Sports Philadelphia. Just search it right in the search tab, and you can find us. Get us to that big 200 subscriber mark. And of course, Get in the Hole at Twitter and Instagram at Get in the Hole Pod. Facebook.com/Get in the Hole. And of course, Underground Sports Philadelphia. And every single show on the network. You can find everything there at Underground PHI on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Underground Sports PHI, and Twitch.tv/Underground Sports PHI. Once again, terrific Tuesday here in the world of golf. Stephen McAvoy. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Stephen McAvoy _ and KB. You can find him on Twitter at KBizzle13
11
or 31
KBIZZL311.
Again, the Radio Shack Wi-Fi strikes again. Please. Oh my goodness. Sorry, the Radio Shack Wi-Fi strikes again. Well, that's the spiel. I think this week is going to be a little different, being that it's the Open Championship. It's very important to us that we give you the absolute best content. Kyle obviously isn't the biggest golf guy. He knows enough stuff, but he's more here for the vibes while Johnny Boy's away. Kyle, I kind of want you to take over the host seat today and kind of
let's do it.
Run through it as I play analyst for the first time in my Get in the Hole career, which is kind of a nice change of pace. I kind of enjoy being the analyst a little more than the host at times. So I guess with that being said, let's just jump right on into the topics. And let's have me just rant for about an hour and 20.
Well, before we get into the Open, Steve, big news in the golf world. PGA Tour probe for the second time ever, investigating in an antitrust lawsuit. I saw this pop up across my Twitter timeline, and that's how you know it's big news, is when big golf stuff is popping up, which has been the case a lot. Probably over the last 3 or 4 months, but again, the PGA Tour getting investigated for the second time since, I believe they said 1994, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And film as a casual golf fan and as a casual watcher, what does this mean for the PGA?
Well, so first of all, we have to talk about what exactly it means, and so, the idea of antitrust. Now, look, I'm a business student. I went to college for business, so I learned all about the antitrust laws. I also happen to have a minor in history, so learning about Teddy Roosevelt, the trust buster, the antitrust guru. I know all this good shit. So, you think of antitrust? What do you think about?
Something that
the idea
can't be trusted.
of antitrust law. right, now, like, all right. So, and antitrust law, right? It's about monopolies. So, cornering the market, you're the only one. Now, you might be asking yourself, all right, that makes sense. The PGA Tour is a monopoly because they're the only show in town. Technically not true because the DP World Tour exists and they also have affiliates like the Corn Ferry Tour and the Champions Tour. It's all under the same umbrella, but also there's other organizations within golf too, like the USGA, who runs the US Open. The National Golf Club has their own tournament where they handle what they want to do. The PGA of America is actually separate from the PGA Tour. That's why like everyone talks about like, oh, the PGA should do this. Actually, it's the PGA Tour should do this. If you're really being like serious, Matt Strider always gives me shit for that. But so technically, the PGA, yes, it's the only show in town. But there is other venues and groups that are a part of what makes the PGA Tour schedule the PGA. Technically, the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, technically speaking, those are actually monopolies. But the reason why they get off the hook is because they're all considered nonprofits. The PGA isn't particularly considered a nonprofit because they do make money. However, they do charitable things that make them kind of like a modified. So usually with antitrust law, people are suing you because of monopolizing the market, and that's what the casual person would look and see. All right, Live Golf is trying to create this new thing, and they're basically being pushed out in an anti-competitive manner by the PGA Tour and trying to get strong-armed. The key is that it isn't the monopoly part that is why the U.S. Department of Justice, or the DOJ, is going after this. It's actually because of the second thing. You could also, all right, you can also technically be breaking the law if you, as well as, let's say, like an oligarchy of companies. So an oligarch is ruled by few. So let's say, for example, take like cell phone companies, right? AT&T, Verizon, Sprint. Let's say they all team up and say, hey, let's crush T-Mobile. Let's make them just totally irrelevant. Take them out. That could actually be grounds for antitrust law because you are trying to cooperate with other companies to basically edge out the rest of the market. The issue here is that Greg Norman has called out Jay Monahan on multiple occasions and we talked about this, but no one actually gave it much thought. The idea that Jay Monahan over the last 2 months has asked the DP World Tour, hey, don't allow live players to join you. He's asked the USGA, don't let players play the US Open. He's asked Augusta, probably, don't let players play. So essentially, Live Golf actually has a very legitimate argument here, and it all stemmed also from Ian Poulter when he sued the DP World Tour for not letting him play on exemptions that he had already gathered, which technically he's totally allowed to, but they did suspend the tour card. While necessarily the players, Greg Norman is able to sue and say, hey, I'm creating this organization, but I'm getting pushed out by people who don't want me here. And it's unfair and anti-competitive, which is really what's happening. So this is kind of where the probe happens. What happened in 1994 was more so about the PGA Tour didn't allow players to play non-PGA Tour events. That obviously changed with tour options and other things. So that was more of a the PGA independent contractor hiring these players to play on their tour, and they weren't allowing them to have their own rights. Essentially, they were kind of not enslaving them to the PGA Tour, but it's the same idea as what happened in a prior agency when you were only able to sign with your team, and the only way you can move was if you were traded. And obviously, we saw what happened with free agency and Kurt Flood and all these different things that allowed players to have more rights within the game. This is a very different thing, obviously, because it's a whole new org, but it's certainly something to be looking out for, and it's usually is given a cease and desist order, which makes them be unable to communicate with each other or its employees or independent contractors and subsidiaries. So technically, if the Department of Justice, if the DOJ really wanted to, they could PGA Tour a letter and say, hey, we are giving you a C&D notice. You have to stop all tour events. Players cannot practice on PGA Tour facilities. on TPC properties that are owned by the PGA, or any property owned by the PGA, and there cannot be any communication between players or management, or even in between. So it's a can of worms we're getting into, where this might take 6 months to relieve, but we're only so far away from Eastlake. There's a good chance we might see something come out of the cards from the DOJ, and we might see a ceasefire in the world of golf pretty quick. Who knows?
How much of this do you think is because Joe Biden is joining Live Golf?
Well, Joe Biden, first of all, he wants to lower gas prices, so good for him. If he wants to get in bed with the Saudis, totally fine. I'm with the Soviets. This is like Stranger Things. Like, you know what? If Joe Byron wants to get in bed with the Saudis and try and lower gas prices, I'm all for it. I'm paying $65 to fill a tank of gas, and I'm in a little Hyundai Tucson. I'm not like in a Hummer. So come on, like.
I'm in a Honda Civic Coupe and it takes like 55. So
yeah, right. Like what the hell's wrong with this? People in Priuses are paying 55 of the tank.
Yeah, allegedly Joe Biden joining Live Golf.
I mean, you know what? Like, did you see it coming? I probably would have seen Trump do it first, but
yeah,
Byron doing it, I'm not surprised.
It's gonna be a fantastic tour, everybody. We're gonna go on tour. It's called the Live Golf Tour. Greg Norman, very good person. He's a great guy, great gentleman. He does a great job running the Live Tour. I love seeing Dustin Johnson out there playing on all these courses. My good friend DJ, as he's known. I love Dustin, my favorite golfer out there. The PGA Tour, it's kind of falling off. It's kind of falling off, guys. You know. You hate to see things fall off the way they do, but sometimes the new guard has to come in, and what Live Golf is doing for the sport of golf, and I can't wait for them to play all of their tournaments.
All right, Donnie, you're on a timeout now. Oh my goodness. By the way, I threw the hat on in honor of Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear. He deserves to get some love.
Sweet hat.
Yeah, right. Little rope hat. It's actually beautiful.
That's sweet.
So, shout out to Jack Nicklaus for being the third American to be an honorary citizen of St. Andrews with Ben Franklin.
That is fantastic, like bar trivia.
That's like something that like we'll ask like our kids in like 30 years, and it'll be like the greatest thing ever. Well, actually, what would be even better than that would be our next topic. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of stealing your thunder right here. Xander Schauffele is going for his third straight win and his third straight start at the Open Championship. And if it happens, it'll be the first person to win 3 straight events since.
I'm going to ask for a hint. Is this recent?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say Scotty Scheffler. Is it Tiger?
No.
Can I get 3 more wishes?
Sure. We can also play 20 questions if you really want it. Now, like Tiger did win 3 straight events. That was like 1 in 2000 though. But this guy did it in 2017.
It's Jordan Spieth.
Nope. You mentioned him when talking about Donald Trump.
Oh, Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, Dustin Johnson did it in 2017. Do you know who has the longest winning streak of any? He has a tournament named after him. Not like a big time tournament, but like a lower level tournament in the middle of Texas. He won 11 straight events in 1945.
Arnold Palmer.
That should have been the giveaway. Big event versus small event. No, it was Byron Nelson.
I thought that was a company.
The Arnold
not
Palmer
a
is a big event. Well, Arnold, what do you mean a company?
I thought like Byron Nelson sounds like an insurance agency.
You want to laugh? It actually kind of does. But no, but Byron Nelson is in fact a 6'1" golfer who was born in 1912.
Byron Nelson sounds like the AAA Charles Schwab.
The Charles Schwab Challenge brought to you by Byron Nelson Financial. Actually, you know what? It kind of does make sense, right?
You get called up from the Byron Nelson to the Charles Schwab.
You would also think like there are so many insurance companies that are like represented on, or like banks that are on the PGA Tour calendar that, like, if you had no idea who Byron Nelson was, you would easily think it's a bank.
100%.
Like Wells, there's Wells Fargo, there's the Rocket Mortgage Classic, there's the Charles Schwab Challenge, there's 40net is, I want to say, they're like a securities company. They aren't like a bank, but they do like securities and like cyber. There's also there are so many other. There are literally so many other ones. Wyndham is financial too.
What was it?
Could be wrong there. Wyndham.
No, it's a hotel.
Travelers is insurance. So is Zurich. Zurich is insurance and banking, I think. There's Farmers insurance too.
Yeah.
Like the
State Farm's heavily involved.
RSM. Yeah, there are so many of these. So like it's very easy for you to have no idea who he was if you didn't actually know who he was.
What is it with the guys on tour this year, Steve, that their names start with sh, that are just playing so well?
With sh.
Xander Schauffele and Scotty Scheffler.
Technically, you could also include Seamus Power, but he's been on fire.
Good.
The guy has top tens in every major this year, and the fact that he's Irish and is playing a links golf course, I have no idea why he isn't a top player this week. I might pick him for beer money. But anyways, Xander Schauffele is looking for his third straight win in his third straight start. Now, he won the Scottish Open a couple weeks ago. He won the Travelers, and in between both events, he won the JPP McManus Pro-Am, which nothing like crazy, but it was overseas. It was here in Scotland. So he won that, won the Scottish. Now, does he have a chance to win his first ever major at the home of golf? At the 150th? At St. Andrews? I don't know. Maybe. Well, he's a third-ranked player in the field, only behind who else? Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth. So quite apropos to be in such a great company. But the Scottish Open was a great event this past week. Xander Schauffele obviously taking home the big win. Sunday was wild. The weather was crazy. Funny thing though, actually, I was having a conversation over Twitter with a couple of guys who do a lot of like stat analysis for the PGA, and they have like their own podcast. I was talking to Greg Sharm, who always tweets out a bunch of things. He's with the guys over at First Cut. I asked him how the Open, and what he had to say was very interesting. He said last year 4 of the top 12 players in the Open played the Scottish. Right, Colin Morikawa finished T71. He won. John Rahm finished 7th. He finished tied for 3rd. McIntyre finished tied for 18th. He finished tied for 8th at the Open. And Scheffler finished 12th. He finished 8th at the Open. Winners of the Scottish have finished at the Open since 2013. Phil won the Scottish, won the Open. Dustin Rose won the Scottish, finished 23rd. Ricky Fowler finished 30th. Alex Noren finished 46th. Rafa Cabrera Bello finished 4th. Brandon Stone finished 61st. Bernd Wiesberger finished 32nd. And Minwoo Lee, last year's champion at the Scottish, missed the cut. So do I think that Xander Schauffele will have a good shot to win the Open? I don't really know, because past performance at the Scottish doesn't really prove anything. Even though in my heart of hearts, I want to say it does, because obviously the transitional game from playing USA style courses to links golf in England, and how it's always raining, it's always cold, it's shitty all day long for some reason. It seems like it makes sense. especially when it's hot as balls nowadays in America. I feel like it makes a difference, but honestly, we don't really know. But will Xander win? We'll see. But I currently have him in my 6-man salary composite score pool that I'm in. The winner gets a brand new Callaway Rogue, which by the way is Xander's driver of choice. I feel like there's a bit of an omen there, but we'll see.
Xander is currently the number 2 favorite to win, only behind Rory, which I think you said at plus 1,400.
Which makes sense, like why Rory's so high up, considering, I mean, obviously he's been the face of the face of um the face of golf since the whole like live thing came out, and obviously he's from Northern Ireland, so he's from the British Isles, anyways. So it makes sense why he's so high up, but I don't know. I don't know if this is Rory's week. We're gonna get more into that once we get there, but I think Xander's got a pretty good shot, got a pretty solid shot this week.
Anything else from the Scottish Open that surprised you? Anything stand out?
It was very boring, honestly. But Xander won. Oh, actually, you know what? I should point this out, and I don't think we have it written down in our. We do, but I'll just point it out. 3 qualifying spots that were available, and this goes to our updates like on the field and what's happening. There were 3 spots available for guys who qualified in the ranking of this of the Scottish Open. So obviously, everyone who made the field didn't count. Top 3 players of those who were not in the field got qualified. Max Schreiber was on the show last week. He literally said 2 of the 3 guys, Kurt Kitayama, who finished T2, and Nikolai Hjorgaard, who finished I think 6th. Max called them both out this week and said, "Hey, these guys are going to play great at the Scottish," and guess what? They did. So shout out to Golf Central and our boy Max. Ricky Fowler misses the cut line for the Open for the first time in his career since 2010. This guy's on a downward spiral. I'm pretty sure he's going to lose his tour card this year, which is going to be crazy. Like, that'll be like the story post Eastlake is like Ricky Fowler loses tour card, goes to the Corn Ferry Tour. Like,
man,
I know,
can
right?
You imagine can you imagine Rory and like Ben playing together? Or I'm sorry, Ricky and Ben playing together? Like, that'd be insane.
Well, Ricky would have to really fall off in order to get down to where Ben is right now. He's currently in Sioux Falls, North Dakota, training for Q school and getting ready for everything. He's doing some mini tours in the Dakotas right now. He's doing pretty good as well. By the way, little spoiler: we're gonna have him on next week. So
bing bong.
I'll get ready for that one, folks. It's gonna be a big one. But yeah, so he's been just a downward spiral. It's been absolutely disgusting. It's been terrible. For the first time since he started his career in 2010, he missed the Open. And taking over his spot was winner of the Barbasol. Shout out to the Beards. Trey Mullinax, who actually is basically on the opposite trajectory of Ricky Fowler. Was a guy who was really good. Won the U.S. Amateur. Was huge on the KFT. Took a break from pro golf and just kind of just dipped in his golf game. Now he's finally back on the upswing after about a 3-year hiatus. He's basically the Smiley Kaufman. And Smiley Kaufman wanted to actually get good at golf again. So Trey Mullinax will be in the field at the Open this week. That's another update on the field. Should have been in the
great name.
I'll throw in the front. I know, right? Trey Mullinax.
That sounds like that sounds like a disgustingly good edge rusher in the NFL.
Now lining up for your Houston Texans, Jadeveon Clowney and Trey Mullinax. That's a bomb.
Down goes Matt Ryan, sacked by Trey Mullinax.
What are the Colts thinking? Going with just old washed up quarterbacks every year.
They need somebody to hang out with Jim Irsay.
I saw. All right, this is a total sidebar and has no relevancy to golf whatsoever. There's a Dan Le Batard rant from back when the Miami Heat beat the Pacers, and one of the things he says is he's from Miami, so he's calling out the Pacers for sucking ass while the Heat go to the finals, and it's like the 3rd straight year they played each other and the Heat made it, Pacers didn't, and he goes He goes, your general manager Jim Irsay was found in the back of a four-door with uh a duffel bag full of money, a sniper rifle, and a stripper. You call that a scandal? You call that a Monday? It was
Jesus Christ.
I am not doing the rant justice whatsoever because it's so funny. I'm going to send it to you, and you got to watch it. There's one bit, and it's like, what is Manti Te'o's girlfriend, Game Sevens, and Paul George's girlfriend all have in common? They don't exist. He's like, Indiana has 100 native specimen of trees, and Michael Beasley's finna smoke them all.
Jesus.
He goes off. He's like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. It's gonna be incredible. Well, let's take a break, and once we come back, we'll talk more about St. Andrews, the old course, the 150th, the whole kit and caboodle, everything you need to know. You're listening and watching. Get in the hole from the underground. We're back. We're live. Get in the hole here from the underground. Stephen McAvoy and Kyle Bennett. Kyle, let's get back into the Open. Take over that host seat once again, and let's talk more about St. Andrews and the old course.
Well, Steve, you said we're gonna play a game tonight.
Yeah, it's a game day.
We're gonna play two truths and a lie.
Yeah. So I've curated a couple of questions or a couple of statements about the Open Championship and what has happened in the history of the Open. So I'm going to give you typical, again, two truths and a lie. And before we get into the actual confidentiality and talking about what it is that we should expect at the old course, I want to test your knowledge here about the beauty of St. Andrews. So we'll start off with question number one. Oh, yes. Strap in, kids.
Put my thinking cap on.
You are most certainly going to want to. Number one, first question with the three things. The last Englishman to win at St. Andrews was Sir Nick Faldo in 1990. Second one is St. Andrews is older than the Gutenberg printing press. And the St. Andrews Old Course was not named the Old Course until the new course was built about 80 years after.
Okay. Oh. I'm going to guess one of the truths is the middle one.
About the printing press?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to guess the other truth is the course name.
So the course name is true. The new course was built about 80 to 90 years after the old course. The old course was built in 1549, which unfortunately is not older than the printing press. The printing press was founded in 1440.
Yep.
By Johannes Gutenberg in Mainz, Germany. So that's the lie. And yes, Nick Faldo is the last Englishman to win at St. Andrews. He's also the last Englishman to ever win the Claret Jug, which is nuts, considering the amount of times they've actually played golf in England for the Open, and just no Englishman's won it. The last time that happened was in 1992.
I wasn't even born yet for the people out there.
Neither was I, which is kind of crazy. So Nick Faldo won the Claret Jug in 1990 at St. Andrews, followed up again and won it in 1992, which was the last time that he has won there. A couple more things on the old course. The old course pot bunkers, not like weed, but like pot, as in like literally looks like a pot, is rated the hardest bunkers in the history of the PGA Tour. Rumor has it that the old course has firmer ground than most topsoil you find over fossils. So think about a little bit of earth science here. And the last person to successfully defend their title at the Open was Rory McIlroy.
I think the Rory one is true. And I'm going to say the bunkers is true.
Say that again?
I'm going to say that the pot bunkers being the most difficult is true, and Rory defending the title is true.
The one that is false is actually Rory McIlroy defending his title. He won in 2014. He lost in 2015 to one of Ben Piro's mentors, Zach Johnson, who, by the way, little fun fact about Zach Johnson. He was so there's a criteria that's basically been lined out for every winner at the old course, and they all kind of fit in the same kind of categories. Zach Johnson, for some reason, fits none of the categories. And just one. Do you know who finished T2 behind Zach Johnson? He's pretty good at finishing second in majors.
Well, I know Will Zalatoris was not on the tour then, so I'm not going to say Willie Z.
Will Zalatoris, I'm pretty sure, was in like that. he was way out of it.
Tied for second. Who's really good at tying for second?
He was really good last year at T2s. He's also a defector to live, so we don't like this guy.
Did we talk about him earlier in the show?
No.
Okay.
Did we? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's Louis Oosthuizen. Yeah, Zach Johnson won in a three-way playoff against him and Mark Leishman. By the way, Mark Leishman has still yet to answer us on Instagram DMs. He has read our messages though multiple times.
He's one of those. Just leave us on red.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Well, then again, like Daniel Berger replies to us, but it's because Brittany's like trying to slide in the DMs. That's all I have on the Open. It was just two questions, a little warm up. So that's two truths and a lie. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how firm these fairways are at the Open, because like it's basically just like a hunk of ice, really, when you think about it. It's always cold in Scotland, especially like now. Yeah, it's the summer, but it's supposed to be like a high of like 60 the entire week. So it's gonna be chilly, and they're like firm as can be. It's like freaky, which is also kind of crazy to think about how like fossils get covered in topsoil, and they're probably hard as a rock because it's been 800 years or whatever it is to find a dinosaur bone or whatever other kind of fossil. But yeah, so that's our two truths and a lie.
Let's break into the case file here, Steve. Let's do some course confidential of the old course for the Open.
Look at the book out.
Look at that. He's coming here as a scholar of the game. Cue the Law and Order music.
Dun dun. These are their stories. Whenever I hear Law and Order music, I think of the one scene from Ted when they're narrating the theme song. Running down the street. By the way, this book is about baseball. It's not even about golf. It's just the first thing that was on my desk.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Fourth wall breaking. Fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
Let's break it down.
I watched American Psycho last night for like the umpteenth time. I walk around my house and my brother goes, "Hey, do you want dinner?" And he's making a steak, and I go, "Oh, the tender thickness of it. Oh my god, it's got a watermark." Then I turn to my mom and I go, "Is that like Huey Lewis in the news?"
Absolutely amazing.
My name's Marcus Halberstram. All right, so Course Confidential. We're here at the old course as I open up my book of tricks here kind of break it down for you. So the Old Course is a really, really interesting golf course. Now, the beauty of the course is less about the actual like difficulty of it, because it actually isn't. It's one of the more easier courses, quote unquote, major wise. Not even just the Old Course in general, but the average scoring to par to win at the Open is about 14 and a half strokes. The average winner at the Open at St. Andrews is about 13 and a half strokes. So it doesn't deviate very wide from what you typically see. The U.S. Open is still the hardest major in order to win. It's usually around like 6 strokes. The Masters is around like 14, and the PGA is like closer to the 20s. But this course is very interesting because, again, those pop bunkers are probably the nastiest things you can think of. And if you can't think of them in your head, it's the bunkers that they're very small, but they kind of have like steps. They're also very deep. They're rugged. They're kind of like guarded. So let's say like you're in the bunker, right? Just imagine like a wall in front of you, and you're all the way down here in the bunker. So you gotta get out of the hill, and the fairway bunkers are even harder than the greenside bunkers. So something to point out, very important.
They gotta call Kate Bush.
You running up the hill, right? You're gonna make a deal with God. All right. We're gonna divert so hard on this. I didn't realize that if you've ever been to Disney, the Muppet Show, Miss Piggy's song that she sings in that show is Kate Bush's "Running Up the Hill."
Yep.
Which like freaks me out. Anyways, so the pop bunkers are incredibly difficult. You're gonna have to basically make a deal with God that you don't find them. The Old Course is weird because a golf course built in 1549, like it wasn't made to look like it. The best way to describe the Old Course is that it literally looks like just a bunch of brown grass. Like it doesn't really even look like a golf course, and that's what makes it so amazing. Obviously, there was no roads at the time, so they built the entirety of St. Andrews around the golf course. So everything just kind of fits its way through. There's obviously the road hole on 17 where you have to literally hit it over a hotel, which give me the chance, and I'll hit the hotel 10 out of 10 times. You're literally hitting it over a busy like highway. It's kind of crazy. So it doesn't look like but it's the history around it that makes it so intense, and the fierceness of it. The putting green isn't terrible. It's pretty much it's undulated because it's hilly, but it isn't nearly as bad as certain courses. The greens aren't lightning fast, or they're pretty moderate, but it's really the firmness of those fairways and bunkers where it's very hard to plant the ball. Balls will travel; they will go far. You hit driver 310 yards, it'll bounce probably another 40 yards. So it's a bombing pass if you think about it that way. But driving distance isn't actually very important on this golf course. It really does come down to accuracy off the tee. There's a lot of metrics that I'm going to get into in my 5 keys to winning. But overall, the course is very much doesn't seem difficult. It's pretty short in length. But where it's short in length, it's incredibly challenging to sit, and it's tough to find your way around the course without finding your way into bunkers. And it's, again, the weather conditions and the wind. We saw it at the stretch. The guys, I'm pretty sure the number by Dustin Ray was 36 out of 38 guys were under par after the first 3 days. 32 of them came in the morning wave. When it was dewy, it was a little more wet. It was cold, but the ball was sitting a little better because the grass was a little more saturated. Come the afternoon, it's going to be a really tough time for a lot of these guys to figure it out. And what I'm noticing is a lot of the really good tee times for the afternoon on day one are way early in the morning on day 2. So I expect those guys to really outperform and pace the pack.
So what you're saying, in comparison, this course is very much like a brand new puppy. It's tough to sit, and it will wander off and dig in the sand.
Yeah, and the problem is too is that links golf isn't particularly difficult in terms of hazards. It's just the grass is very thick because it isn't well maintained. As opposed to you go play at Augusta, narrow fairways, and you're dealing with trees everywhere. There's no trees at St. Andrews. It looks like you're on like a field where you can land a plane. Like there should be runways running through here because there's no trees. And if there are, they're very sporadic and scattered. It's links golf is a very different game than the traditional course layout that you usually see on the PGA Tour, which is why I love this event. And I honestly think that the Open might be my favorite event of the year because it's so difficult to play in a condition that you aren't used to 10 months out of the year. And you're never actually in your element because when you think about it, on the PGA Tour, the fall swing, you're in Texas. Once the January and February months come around, you're in California and Hawaii. So you're never playing golf in a cold condition. This is the one time of year that guys really have to kind of bear the elements and figure it out. And that's why I love this event. And I'm very excited for the old course. It's going to be awesome. That brings me into my keys to victory. There's 5 things that I'm looking at that are really important. Driving accuracy is far more important than driving distance. The distance will come, but you got to be able to keep it straight and keep it on the fairway. Again, very undulated, very hilly, naturally in areas like Scotland and England and basically all the British Isles. Very hilly golf courses. They didn't like designing courses that are flat. They wanted to give you a challenge. And if there weren't trees around or water, they had to give you some undulations. So hit it straight, keep it in the fairway. The rough's penalizing. It's tough. Stroke skiing scrambling is going to be huge. You find the pop bunkers, it's going to be really bad. There are multiple bunkers that are literally called the hell bunkers because they're impossible to get out of. So look out for that. That's super important. Putting isn't going to be insanely important because you'll be able to make your putts. The key, though, very limited par 5s, a lot of par 4s. It's a very standardized golf course. It isn't like the typical course where you see two par 5s in the front, 2 par 5s in the back, par 3s here and there. No, it's just largely par 4s. They did not design a golf course in 1549 to be anything like you see on the PGA Tour ever. That's what makes this event so different from everything else. The course just doesn't look like right. Par 72, there's going to be a lot of scoring, but at the same time, though, you got to be able to keep it straight. Approach to putts will be important. So it isn't particularly stroke skiing approach, but it's more so how close can you actually get the ball to the hole on that approach shot. With that being said, stroke skiing, ball striking, and approach play will, of course, be important. There'll be factors. But being able to really dial in your wedge game is going to be huge here. Very, very, very firm. You can't dig into the ground or else the ball's going to go absolutely nowhere. There's no such thing as chunking the ball in St. Andrews. You're going to basically pick everything clean off the ground. So you don't have a lot of room. You don't have a lot of room for error to utilize the bounce on those wedges. So the wedge games are going to be huge. So those are the things that I'm looking out for this week in terms of keys to the victory.
So this is a very big for the brand course.
Yeah.
We better hear lots of name drops this week.
You will. Well, there is one name that you won't be hearing, and it's Grayson Murray. He's probably going to jump ship to live, and he certainly wasn't good enough to qualify for the Open.
Man, so. Isn't that crazy that he's so American, and now he's going to live?
I mean, it's very fitting. He's a lying bastard.
He probably wants in on just like the lines of
Coke?
COKE.
Cocaine. But the one team from Blue Mountain State. Cocaine.
God, I love being Grayson Murray's least favorite podcast.
Dude, we tweeted out the clown is back, and it got so many comments. People were giving him so much. It was great. I love it.
Amazing. It's so great.
Like actually the best thing I've seen all week. So yeah, so that's basically everything on the old course. We've already kind of given you updates on the field. I do have some prop bets for us, KB. If we're getting into it. Some prop bets brought to you by our good friends over at Pickup. Play those headlines, sign up with your phone number, and get betting today. We got a bunch here. I have like a ton, but I'm going to limit it down to 5 for the funsies. Let's kind of break them down here. There are 24 players from LIV playing in this event. The rest are all PGA or DP World Tour. Among the English players who are in LIV, so that includes Paul Casey, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Richard Bland, Sam Horsfield, and a few others. Will there be more English PGA players or LIV players in the top 20 by week's end? This is a fun one. there's obviously far more PGA players, but like the quality of live golfers who are English are much higher.
I'm gonna say there's gonna be more live.
Just to say screw you to live, I'm gonna go with the PGA side, but I want to give you like an idea of like exactly who is involved in the field this week in terms of nationality. So, for live, obviously it's Ian Poulter,
Mm-hmm.
Lee Westwood, Danny Willett will be involved. Or Danny Willett, Lee Westwood, um, Richard Bland, and I believe that's the. Oh, and then of course Paul Casey, and on the American side, it's going to be. I'm going to exclude the PGA side, not the American side. I'm going to exclude the lower name golfers just because they don't totally match up. But Tommy Fleetwood will be involved on the PGA side. Technically speaking, if you really want to kind of split hairs here, Rory McIlroy is from Northern Ireland, but I guess you can call him English for shits and giggles. And then Marcus Armitage from England, as well as Tyrrell Hatton will be representing the PGA Tour. So I think there's going to be. Oh, and then of course Matt Fitzpatrick, our good friend Matty Fitz. So I think the PGA side will certainly prevail here. I think that they'll at least get Fitzy in the top 20. I'm not going to count Rory then in that case, but Fleetwood will certainly be up there. I don't know if Poulter and Westwood will be able to carry away. I think Paul Casey will do pretty well though this week. He has a good record here at the Old Course. Second question here for our friends over at Pickup. Let me pull up the list again. We had mentioned Xander Schauffele, of course, won the Travelers, came back, won the Scottish. He won a Pro-Am in between both of them. Xander Schauffele, top 10 this week. What do you think?
I like it.
I think it's a smash. I think that's a home run bet. I think it isn't going to be the home run bet that I'm going to give you later on, but I think it's certainly something that I'll be looking at as something to probably capitalize on. For a lot of sports books, they have a lot of the player insurance to finish top 20. I would totally throw money on Xander Schauffele here for a top 10, top 20, whatever you have it be. Third thing here, Spieth. So Jordan Spieth, Adam Scott, and Rory McIlroy are the only players to record back-to-back top 5 finishes at the Open. Will all three of them do it again?
Top 5 finishes?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
This would be like a plus 900 bet if you were to place this. Like this will be tough. I'm going to agree with you and say no. I think Spieth and Rory will both come very close. I do not trust Adam Scott with every fiber of my being. I pick him in every major pool that I have, and he always wets the bed. I think he's going to do it again, despite him having a pretty good track record here at the Open, particularly actually at St. Andrews. He's pretty good. Winning score, like I said, at the Open is about 13.5 strokes. At St. Andrews is about 14.5 strokes. But the winning score this week, over under 15.5 strokes. We're going to go a little bit over. What do you think?
I'm going to say under, but just slightly.
Yeah, I'm leaning under, but I'm gonna go with the over this week. I think that there's a good chance we'll see a score 17, 18 under. Someone's going to find a hot putter at some point. And I feel like it won't be a guy high up on the odds board. I think it's going to be someone pretty low down who will, for some reason, just run away with this tournament. And there have been rumors that Jordan Spieth's scoring average at St. Andrews and at the Open in general combined is like a 69, which is 3 under every day. Yeah, right. Which would basically mean that if you were to match him up versus everybody else in terms of scoring average combined between St. Andrews and the Open, he should win this by 5 strokes, according to the stats. And now look, I said this back at the Zurich when I predicted Schauffele and Cantlay to win, which they did. They were beating out guys in average score per round by like 4 strokes. And what did they do? They beat everyone by 4 strokes. If the metrics are there, I think Jordan Spieth should have a very good chance to win this week, and I think he'll certainly be breaking that 15-stroke mold. Granted, scoring of 69 is about 12 under. That would only mean that you got to find 3 more birds somewhere. And he's also the only player in 3 straight years to have multiple eagles in an event. So, multiple eagles in multiple rounds of a given event. So he's certainly running something. Fifth and final thing, as I mentioned, Nick Faldo was the last Englishman to win the Claret Jug in 1990 at the Open in St. Andrews, and as well at Royal Portrush in 1992. Will the winner this week be English or the field?
Give me the field.
Yeah, that's honestly, it's kind of a bad fifth bet here, but it's very
would be electric if it was.
It'd be awesome. Well, actually, it'll be more awesome to see someone who isn't English and to see someone who's Scottish. And there's only one person, I believe. Well, there's a couple. There's one guy that I'm eyeing who is Scottish, who I think is going to have an incredible week, and you'll see him in the Beer Money picks coming up in just a bit when we come back. Beer Money, brought to you by our friends at Kenwood Beer. Don't go anywhere. You are watching, listening, and streaming Get in the Hole from the Underground. Final segment, power time. It's Beer Money, brought to you by our friends over at Kentwood Beer, Philadelphia's #1 light beer. KB, I still haven't had one yet. You gotta get me some.
Yeah, hopefully you're able to come down here. What is it, mid-August for
the
Delaware?
BMW?
Yeah, we'll have Kenny's here on deck,
dude. We'll pregame the event. That'd be huge. We can do it.
Make it happen.
Well, you know what? Grab a Kenny, strap in. Let's do it here. Top 20. Do you have picks for us, or do you want me to just roll with it?
I'm gonna peruse. I'm gonna take a look at what we got, and I'm gonna make my picks. Obviously, when I am filling in as a guest host, I try to make the picks so I can get on the graphic. So
all right, all right. So you know what? So I'll lead off here. Top 20 pick. I had mentioned I think a Scottish player is gonna do really well this week, and there's one guy who I'm eyeing. And I'm gonna write about him. I'm gonna literally pick him in every pool I'm in. Robert McIntyre, the Scottish kid, plus 300 for a top 20 on my personal sports book of choice. I think this is a home run. He's the only guy aside from Spieth, Scott, and Rory to finish top 10 in back-to-back Opens. And where else to do it but at his home in Scotland? He literally grew up 5 miles down the road from St. Andrews. He told the story. He used to sneak onto the 18th green and play in the dark with friends to try and recreate the moments. I love narratives, and there's something about the hometown kid coming to play St. Andrews. It's one of those like Francis Met U.S. Open stories. I think this is going to just work for Robert McIntyre. Top 20 this week is a home run for RB Mac.
That's very fun. There's a lacrosse player in the PLL who used to do the same thing. He and his friends would jump the fence at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore and play.
It's amazing.
And whenever he scores at Hopkins when they play there, it's always like, oh, there's Homewood Holman.
Makes sense.
My top 20, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite guys, Colin Morikawa.
Pretty you're playing it very safe, I see.
Safe on the top 20 there. We'll get a little friskier as we go on.
You do realize he won last year, right?
100%, but it's tough to go back to back.
Oh, it is very tough to go back to back. So you have Colin. You give odds for Colin? I'm curious.
I have him at plus 2,800 to win.
What's top 20?
I don't have top 20 odds right now.
We'll have to find that.
Oh, here we go. Here we
go.
I actually done goof there. Let's see.
Let me guess. For some reason, it shows top 10 and top 30.
Yes, it does.
All right. Well, what's his top 30 odds, and then just multiply by 2?
Minus 115.
All right. So about even money.
I'll take that. Even money for a guy to finish top 20. That's a nice little.
That actually really isn't bad at all. I'm kind of impressed that he's so low there. Top 10 this week. I was debating between a lot of different guys, and I'm going to tell you right now that I have Rory, Spieth, and Schauffele all finishing top 10. So really, you could put any three of them here, whatever you want. Just because the odds get juicier, I'm going to put Rory here for a top 10 just to be safe. I don't think he's going to win this week. I'm still not on the Rory wins majors train yet because he won the RBC Canadian Open. He won at Summit for the CJ Cup. but he hasn't won a big event. Like he hasn't won a huge big time event yet. I'm still not totally on the train, but a top 10's a home run. It's like plus 150, maybe.
Yeah, I have him at plus 130 for top 10.
That's literally free money.
I'm gonna.
That's fine.
My top 10, I'm going to go with somebody we talked about earlier in the show. It's time. Give me Scotty Scheffler plus 210 to finish in the top 10.
Plus 210?
Plus 210.
It's pretty damn good odds, though. It's pretty damn good odds. Top 5 for me, again, I'm going to sound like a fucking broken record. It's Rory, it's Spieth, and it's Schauffele. I'm going to take Jordan here because you can probably tell now who my winner is. But the odds are juicy for Jordan. It's like plus 300, plus 400. I really do like Jordan here for top 5. The scoring average is there. I think he can win. I think he probably will win. But I'd much rather lock in the top 5 here and hope my winning pick plays. But Spieth for top 5 is a gimme.
I'm going to have some fun here. I'm going to go with our boy Matty Fitz at plus 360.
I love
for a top 5 finish.
Fitz is somebody who I'm really interested in this week. I think Matt Fitzpatrick, first of all, I don't believe there's ever been anybody in the history of golf to win their first 2 majors back to back. So I think probably maybe Tiger, if literally anybody. So I love Fitzy this week. He loves playing at St. Andrews. Unfortunately, there's no like narrative here like there was at the U.S. Open, but we could very well see what he can do. Gimme picks before we get into the winners. The gimme pick here is I'm going to take him top 40. I'll take him top 30. I'll take him to top 20. I'm going back to Robert McIntyre. He's plus 110 for a top 40. He's plus 155 for a top 30. He's plus 300 for a top 20. If you put those together, it's like plus 2,000 odds for a parlay. I will take it, and I will win it. Because he's that good. Robert McIntyre, top 40, top 30, top 20 is my gimme. At this point, I'm just going to ride up to the bank.
Let's see. My gimme pick of the week.
There's one name that you haven't named yet that I feel like you would like. If you feel like saw him like in a row of hats, you probably pick him. And I think he'll play really well too. He's got a dazzling record at the Open. I'm gonna mention him once you get your pick.
I'm gonna go Justin Thomas for a top 40 pick.
All right, the different skin color than what I'm talking about. Tony Finau is another guy who I'm gonna be eyeing for a game. Probably a top 30 play. It'll be easy. Top 20 will be there. This guy has like 4 top 15 finishes at events in Britain or the British Isles in general. He plays really well at the Open too. So I think Tony Finau is the guy that I'm looking out for. Winning pick, I will give you the floor first before I go.
JT, by the way, is minus 210 for a top 40. It's not too shabby.
I mean, it's a pretty big investment, but I'll take it.
My winner. I'm rocking with my boy. You already know how I feel about the man, the myth, the legend taking over as the face of the sport. Give me Big Rory to win the goddamn thing and just be on top of the world like he deserves to be. Rory McIlroy plus 1,000 to win the whole goddamn thing. Sign me up. I'll see you at the window.
I'll see you at the window with my new driver in hand for my winner. Play it, boys. Dana Schauffele. He's never won a major. He's going to do it. He's going to do it in Scotland. DMX, man, rest in peace.
What an electric pick.
Knock, knock, baby. The claret jug is coming home to America. Xander Schauffele won the Olympics. He's won so many big shit events. He's got to win something, and he does great abroad. I don't know what it is about Xander Schauffele leaving America, but he plays great. Xander Schauffele for the win, and get me a brand new Callaway Rogue in the bag. Oh,
I like it.
dude, if this happens, electricity.
I will need an instant video reaction.
Oh, I'll be screaming.
I need it recorded, selfie style.
Here's the thing. He needs to win, but I also need to win the pool.
Yeah.
So all of my 6 players have to play well. Which, by the way, as of this recording, and I spoke to Max on this to get ideas. My current team for that I've currently curated for the Open is as follows, and it's probably very obvious, but based on who my picks were, I have Rory, I have Spieth, I have Xander, I have Finau, Robbie McIntyre, and Nikolai Hjorgaard, who of course played really well last week, the Danish golfer, who Max suggested to win the Scottish. He finished top 10. I'll take him. I just gotta, so long as 3 of them can finish top 10 and the rest finish top 20, I just cannot. I have to make sure none of them miss the cut. That's the biggest thing.
I love that you picked Thor's hammer in your top 6. Hjorgaard.
Love and Thunder was so fun. The memes,
but so great
about his Warhammer, like
so good.
Like all right, I love how they've made Thor the meme franchise of Marvel.
That's Taika for you.
It's just perfect.
It's so great.
So
shout out to Thor's goats.
Final thoughts, KB, before we wrap things up.
I love a good missing equipment airline story. So I'm going to bring this one up. This is from Shane Bacon on the Twitter machine. Lost his golf clubs on his way to St. Andrews. So to recap here, this is everything that happened to Shane Bacon. The airline lost his clubs. Told him they'd locate them. Then, nothing. Random person tweets a picture of golf bags. One happened to be Shane Bacon's golf bag. He asked anyone, literally anyone, to grab them and bring them to St. Andrews. And then at STFFPH on the Twitter machine, a.k.a. the best human ever, pulled off the miracle. I do want to see if Shane Bacon tweeted which airline it was. He also did tweet 2 hours ago, "Good night, you beautiful, wonderful website," with a picture of his golf bag. Took a picture with at STFFPH. Absolutely electric. Let's see. Did he tweet which airline it was? Because that also...
If it was Delta Airlines, that would be the greatest thing ever.
Let's see.
Anything. Signs of life.
I do not see anything about the airline. It's kind of a shame because I like when the airlines get name dropped.
Well, Xander, so first of all, Shane Bacon is doing better than Victor Hovland, who lost his clubs twice. Both on the same airline, Delta Airlines. And if you know me, I love John Mulaney. And it's only fitting that I say this because probably it was Delta Airlines that screwed over Shane Bacon.
It's for Delta Airlines, and life is a fucking nightmare.
So probably was Delta Airlines. Wouldn't be surprised.
And I would love for Shane Bacon to come on the show because just scrolling his Twitter right now, he seems like an electric personality.
Shane Bacon is like the Field Yates of golf. Like to give you like a description, like super laid back. Also kind of looks like him a little bit, or so I think. When I hear Shane Bacon's voice, I for some reason think of Field Yates, and I don't know why.
He also changed his Twitter profile picture to the picture of him with the girl who recovered his golf clubs for him, which is just awesome. Like, man of the people.
That's amazing. Twitter bio, literally a golf nerd. Honestly, that's me.
Yeah,
I
Shane
talked to
Bacon, come on the podcast challenge issued by the CEO of Underground Sports Philadelphia.
I have some breaking news for my final thought. Aside from me just continuously playing X Don't Give It to You to close out. Bridgestone Golf is disbanding their ties with Bryson DeChambeau due to his live golf connection.
Bye-bye.
That's coming from Nuclear Golf. Very big deal. Also saw the greatest photo in recorded history. All active open. So when you win the Open, you are called the world champion of golf. There's a photo of all of the people who are alive, of course, to have won the Open in front of the clubhouse at St. Andrews. That's the photo. Someone chose to Photoshop it and include this.
That might be one of the greatest pictures I've ever seen in my entire life.
Greg Norman, Abraham Lincoln, Chubbs and the alligator who bit his hand off, and Phil. just gazing over the imagery of the clubhouse at St. Andrews.
That might be one of the greatest pictures I've ever seen in my life.
I literally just tweeted it out on the Get in the Hole Twitter, and I said, this is the greatest photo in recorded history.
If it fits, that should be the new Twitter banner.
I don't think it will, which sucks. If it does, that would.
Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. I love that alligator just with the hand up gets me every time.
It does not fit, but I kind of want to just make that the. You know what? I'm doing it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Welcome to Get in the Hole.
That's incredible. That's fucking amazing.
I absolutely hate us.
That alligator gets me every time with just a little hand up.
It's all in the hips.
It's full circle. An alligator, crocodile, fossils, dinosaurs.
You know, it's really funny looking at all of these like all the guys in the photo, because like, first of all, John Daly looks like Santa Claus.
That's amazing. Great suit, great jacket.
Absolutely. Also, the guys who are wearing kilts.
John Daly is the Andy Reid of that picture.
You know what's crazy too?
When the NFL coaches and stuff have the coaches meeting together. And Andy Reid's always in the Hawaiian shirt.
What's your opinion on John Daly and Bryson getting paired up? This is like my it's literally my two worlds colliding. Because I swing like John Daly, and until live, I used to love Bryson DeChambeau. So it's kind of like my two worlds are just like colliding full force, like an avalanche.
That's like your grandpa that's on Facebook. And then also, like, every 5 days or so logs on to Twitter to retweet things from 2 weeks ago, meeting up with the TikToker.
My grandma downloaded to TikTok. She goes, yeah, I got TikTok. And I go, you watch TikTok? She goes, yeah, I like the one song about the sunroof. Said,
it is very funny how, like, the Gen X and, like, older era are so fascinated and have like the Vine TikTok attention span now.
It's like crazy. Well, like my grandma also like cries over everything. So she saw something I was crying over like one of those like heartfelt things on TikTok. My grandma's, and we got to end this here. My grandma's also the woman who on Facebook she shares things, and she shared something. It was like one share equals one prayer for this brave gym teacher. This brave doctor turned militant serving our country. It was Johnny Sins. And
the new era chain email.
And I go, Grandma, that's a porn star. She goes, she's just, you're an asshole. Anyways, that's gonna do it all here for us. I'll get the whole KB sitting in for John. Great week. Xander Schauffele is gonna win the freaking Open Championship.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Underground PHI and check out our pin tweet. We're giving away a kick-ass Wolverine issue number 22 comic variant cover with Brian Dawkins on the cover. So go check that out. It's awesome. They actually just came in the mail today. I'm excited to take a look at them and see that they are real. And we are also giving away a Premier Lacrosse League All-Star Game jersey over on Outside the Box at OTB Laxpod. It is our pin tweet over there. So 2 kick-ass giveaways going on right now for our company. Make sure you check them out because it's badass. They're 2 awesome giveaways, and it's free shit. Who doesn't like free shit, Steve? Because if it's free, it's for me.
You know what? I'll make it 3. If Xander Schauffele wins the Open, I will give away this Odyssey White Hot putter that he uses. It's almost the same. It's almost the same one. I will literally give it away. Brand new Super Stroke shaft grip. Very nice.
That's because you're gonna have a new club in the bag if he wins.
Yeah, I will. So I will literally give away this Odyssey White Hot RX if Xander Schauffele wins. You can let the world know. If Xander wins, getting the holes going on a spree.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. I miss Heath Ledger, man. Anyways, we have to get going. That's KB. I'm Steve McAvoy. We'll see you guys next week. I don't even care what event's happening next week. I just want to enjoy the Open. Get a beer, go to the beach, wake up at 4:58 in the morning to watch John Daly and Bryson DeChambeau tee it off. Oh, it's going to be
Ben
incredible.
Pirro next week.
Ben Pirro next week, folks. Get ready for that one. We'll see you.